Hi, I'm Mike Winkler, and I'm the Principal Managing Broker for Coldwell Banker Bain in Issaquah, Washington.
And I'm E.J. Bolds. I'm the Principal Managing Broker for Coldwell Banker Bain on Mercer Island, Washington.
EJ, in our last Realty Bros video blog post, we talked about the Washington state law that kind of governs the general conduct and licensing for real estate licensees. And so it seems appropriate that we talk about the Northwest MLS, which really guides how the business is done. But before we do that, I do want to acknowledge, since there's a fish over each of our heads, that we are kind of in the fish room at the conference room in Issaquah, and those fish are part of the thank you from the Issaquah Salmon Days, which is a festival, a celebration of the return of the salmon to Issaquah, a Northwest tradition. It draws about 200,000 people to Issaquah every first weekend in October, this year October 1st and 2nd. So come on down and see what these fish are all about.
Yeah, it's a wonderful time, that's for sure.
It is.
The Northwest Multiple Listing Service is the repository of all of the listings that the brokers have for sale, and it's a huge database, and those listings are placed in that database and are available for the public to see through the member websites. And of course, the firms and the brokers pay a fee to belong to the Northwest Multiple Listing Service.
And for our purposes, EJ, we're going to talk about the Northwest MLS and its coverage, particularly from Western Washington, because Coldwell Banker Bain covers from Bellingham down to the Oregon border, and in fact we go into Oregon as well, which is the RMLS. But for our purposes, again, Western Washington, and there's over 2,000 firms that make up the Northwest MLS, represented by 24,000 real estate licensees, and better known as brokers now, and among them there are over 36,000 residential properties currently listed today on the Northwest MLS.
And in addition to the residential properties, there's also vacant land listings in the Northwest MLS and some commercial listings, although there is a separate multiple listing service strictly for commercial real estate. And we'll actually do a Realty Bros blog post on that at a later time.
Well, as you might expect, there are a plethora of rules and regulations that govern the behavior of the brokers, the participating members within the MLS, and their interaction with the public. And the rules cover everything from how long a broker has from the time they take a signed listing to inputting it into the MLS, and whether or not they can advertise another member's listing.
Yes, lots and lots of rules. Perhaps one of the basic rules, the most basic rules, is the fact that you cannot solicit another member's listing. And so for members of the public that are watching us, you might have a home listed with a broker, and you might innocently talk to another friend that you have that's in real estate and say, hey, how do you think my real estate broker is doing with my listing? Or do you have any ideas that might help me to sell the listing faster? And the broker that you ask that question of may say to you something like, and most likely will say something like, well, I can't really talk to you very much about your listing while it's listed with another member of the multiple, and in fact I'm not soliciting your listing. So that's how that conversation might go, and that's the reason it might go that way.
Well, and for good reason too, because the brokers are paid based on performance, and so there's no salaries. And so you put an incredible amount of effort to obtain listings and advertise listings. There's enormous expense up front. How unfair would that be if just by walking up and saying, hey, I think I can do a better job, let me take your listing, after that broker has spent thousands of dollars preparing it, marketing it, and doing all that before they've even gotten out of the gate. So there's good reasons why these rules are intact.
Yeah, indeed. The other thing is that for the public, over 90% of the buyers are really come to you through the multiple listing service. And so it only makes sense to be listed with a broker that's in the multiple. We have a Realty Bros post on For Sale by Owners, which really explains some of the other reasons that you wouldn't want to sell the home yourself. But the multiple and the exposure that you get through the Northwest multiple is one of the main reasons. I'm E.J. Bolds.
I'm Mike Winkler. Till next time.